Ain't no services over here on this side. I don't know why. No services over here. Alright, so there we go. Oh, that looks good. I need to do the podcast on this. Look. Look at this.
Your phone's so dark, boy.
Look. No, come right here. Just peep in.
Wait a minute.
It looks good like that. But you actually can see me clear from the point of view when I'm at. I need y'all to join the podcast in a little bit. I'm about to start it early, a little bit early, because I got some things I need to do. Let me get my lashes put on. Come on. Get my lashes put on right now. Hold on.
I'm frying your face. Come on. How you gonna put lashes on? You got your face frowned up. You know when you become famous, you know they have makeup tips, right? Open. Is it in your eye? Now open.
So that's perfect. All right, so we got one lash on so far. Look at my lash. So, you know, like, I gotta get my, tap the screen, y'all. Tap the screen. Let's tap that screen. Let's go.
Where you going?
Tap the screen.
I'm saying, where you going?
I said, let's go. Tap the screen. This is the shirt that I'm wearing when I do my casting. Don't forget your worth. This is what I'm gonna put on, and I'm gonna talk about my book, and I want y'all to get it out there. I need everybody to get out there and subscribe to that channel. Queen Nika Inside Asia.
How many pages is your book?
My pages is like 3,000.
3,000 pages?
I mean, those, I don't know how many pages. I done wrote a whole thing. I don't know.
Oh, wait, you got it on my computer. I can do it on Amazon from my computer. I can go ahead and publish it for you. You got to send me that picture again.
Oh, I got everything.
I figured it out last night. I know how to do it.
Hey, Rudy, how you doing? I'm getting myself ready for this casting that I'm doing on YouTube.
You want it pink and black?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know how to do it. I did it last night, so I'm going to do it later.
All right. I got one lash on, one off. I look crazy now. Yeah. Y'all can come over to, I got TikTok on and I got this on. Trying to, it's only 9 people here.
Don't blink.
I heard somebody walking.
Anybody walking over there?
Right there.
Right back there. Open. Cool. Now open. Look at it.
It's on perfect. All right, so that's that cat shit. Anyways, so I got the lashes put on. There's 55 people here. I got my head like this because I'm outside and I got the ring light all the way up. I need to go down some more, but I'm not sure. Hello for Murder Beach. Wow. All right, so
What do you think numbers gonna come out as?
I don't know, because I played 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so my lashes are on. Everything is set up. On my YouTube channel, the one that I'm really trying to get people to come over to watch the cast later it's on. There's only 7 people, so I'm gonna end this YouTube right quick, and I'm gonna go back on here and do the casting and upload it to my thing. I got a video that I was uploading. Did it upload? It sounds like somebody walking.
It's a cat.
No, it's like a human, no cat. I know you hear.
I heard it that time.
Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, watch those ads. I keep hearing it.
I just heard that song.
Hey, yo. That's somebody on YouTube?
No.
Hey, Bookie. See, if I didn't have my account on private, it would have been more people up here. It would have been like 1.2K people on my live right now if I had not had my account on private. But I got to go through my old videos of, I mean, not my old videos, my followers and see what is what. There's so many people, I can't go through it all at one time. I hear itching. Hey. Girl, where you been at? Where you been hiding at? Work? That white truck always be riding. That thing is that bull. What's she talking about?
That 3 people went into this 73-year-old man home. He was a pipe fitter, and they stabbed him and tortured him until they gave him the pin to the credit card number. She keep telling everybody she blind when she could see, saying she didn't do it, and now she crying on camera.
She in jail?
Yeah, they all in jail, and they probably ain't gonna get out because he
So how she on
This was the interviews that she had to go to.
Oh.
They found it funny.
You say about subscribing? That's crazy.
What?
What are you talking about?
They talking about it?
I don't know. I can't really.
Oh, I thought that's what you was reading.
I'm gonna go sit down in the chair. Come. Huh? It's a beautiful day outside, y'all. We got the cats running around and everything like that. So I'm gonna, since I'm on TikTok, and TikTok is the most viral app that's going on right now, and then everybody has my name out there about my children and everything like that. I'm gonna do some of my podcasting on my TikTok. I know I heard some. I ain't fool. Anyways, I'll be doing the podcasting soon on the other channel, trying to get everybody to come over there. So I'm not gonna be having the kids in videos like I said, but I'm basically gonna be talking about my book because Naya said she know how to do some of it, so we're gonna try to see if she can get most of my book on Amazon. But it's like 10%. Like you have to have 10%. Like they got to get 10%. I'm not trying to let them get the whole 10% because I'm trying to just basically do it myself and publish my book on my own. So we're gonna try to see what we can do today and try to get it out there. I went deep down into talking about my life as a young girl growing up, and people wanted to hear more of my story. Like, you very strong to deal with a situation that you deal with as a child into adult stage, and your mental ability is really not good, but it is good because, you know, like, I got a lot of patience when it comes down to my children. And the world needs to know that regardless of the false allegations that people have on the internet towards me about my children, it's not true. Like, I'm standing up for my rights and my innocence because I love my children to death. And people are not seeing that. And they just go out there and just say things like I'm a bad mother. So let me get into the second part of my life a little bit on TikTok, and then I'm gonna go back on my YouTube and try to go ahead and do my podcasting on that one, so I can go ahead and post that on that channel. Where I stopped at was real deep because the tears was falling down, and I had to let go of the camera and let everybody know, you know, my grandma was also very strict and abusive as well, but I didn't see abuse such as being harmful when I was in the house with my grandma. But as time went by, my Uncle Derek was there for me through everything that I was going through, inside and out, being judged by the color of my skin and being judged by who I was as a human being by my mother. And when I met my Uncle Derek and he came into my life, it changed my life for the better because I had someone who could understand and listen to what I was saying and what I had going on. And you know, I would talk to him about how my mama would call me black. And, you know, I got the cat sitting right beside me, y'all. The cat is my little cat. I got my pet right here. The cat sitting beside me listening to me talk. But my Uncle Derek would listen to what I have to say when I used to tell him about how my mama used to call me names, call me black, call me ugly, treated me like I was an outsider, never treated me like a human being, never treated me like a child that came out of her body, out of her womb. And it was hard for me to focus on school and life because I was a child. I never understand why you call me black, why you call me a hoe, why you call me a B word, or why you call me this, or why you call me that. And those words during that time as a child, never understand what it was. But by me being judged by the color of my skin by my own mother made me feel like an outcast. And as I got older in life, I always wanted to go out there and tell my story and tell people what I've been through behind closed doors and how I didn't have a mother and how my mother neglected me physically, mentally, and emotionally, and did not recognize what was in front of her. You know what I'm saying? So now I got the opportunity to open up to the world. I'm gonna let the world know my story. All right, this is how it all began. All right, I told y'all part about my grandma. My grandma was raising us. We was going back and forth, da-da-da-da. My mom will come down and get my other siblings, which is my brother and my sister, and pick them up and take them with her everywhere she went. And never ever thought about taking me. I was always the outcast because the color of my skin. You're not my child. You black. You ugly. You could never be my child. And I'm looking at her like, you gave me life, and this is how the way you treated me. So, you know, she would come pick up my sister and my brother, take them on horseback rides, take them out to the zoo, take them to the fair. She even had her boyfriend, Greg, deny me of going with them. You know, Shanika can't go. You gotta leave her home. Why I can't go? You know, in my mind, like, I'm saying why I can't go. And I'm always crying and pouting for her, rooting for her to realize who I am. Like, I'm your daughter. How can you treat me like this? So, you know, behind closed doors, my grandma was alive and breathing during that time. And she was like, she came in my room because I was pouting and crying because I wanted to go. She said, Mika, everything gonna be okay. I don't know what's wrong with my daughter. I didn't raise her that way. I don't know why she treating you like that. but one day you're going to have to forgive her. And I was little at the time. I was about 11, 12. And you know, it hit home for me because for me to have a mother, to know I had a mother that didn't love me for me and accept me for who I am after giving birth to me, carried me in the womb for 9 months and pushing me out and giving me life. How could you deny a child that you give life to? How could you deny a child that's your own flesh and blood? How could you deny a child that God created for you to have, to love, to protect, to be there for? You know what I'm saying? So I forgive my mom, but I never will forget the abuse that I went through behind closed doors at the time when the abuse was going on. And that's the reason why I address certain things about CPS with my children, because it's a difference between being abused and not being abused. And this is a true story because my mama know what she done to me and how she done it to me. And my aunties and my uncles, everybody knew how I was the outcast and how my grandma used to keep me up underneath her wings all the time because she knew what I was going through inside and out. She knew that one day, eventually, I will come out to the world, let the world know what really happened behind closed doors and how I was mistreated as a child and not treated like a child. You know what I'm saying? So I never knew what a mother was. I only knew what a grandmother was. But a grandmother was a mother to me because that's a mother I never had. And that's the way I learned from a grandmother. But that was a mother to me because that was the only love and support that I was getting at the time as a child. And somebody who I could cry and lean on. At the time, I was being abused by my own mother and treated and neglected wrong by my mother. You know what I'm saying? So people not seeing the inside of Shanika. They're not seeing the inside. They're only seeing the outside. And that's pure life. I'm always happy. I'm always laughing. I'm always crying. I'm always bitter. And I'm always frowning. The frowns are coming from everything that's going on deep down inside of my heart, my body, and my soul. Nobody understands what I'm going through because nobody's walking in my footsteps. Nobody knows what I've been through because they wasn't in that situation at the time that I was being abused and neglected by my own mother. So as time went by, we moving in with my grandma, and I just hate talking about it, but yeah, I have to open up about it because the world needs to know my story. My book has to get out there. Time went by and we started realizing life different. You know, we playing kids, we playing in the woods like I'm outside now where the woods at. We would run through the woods and play and do all kind of stuff. One day, I don't know how the sex started in the household, how the rape started, all that stuff either. In the woods, like I'm outside now where the woods at. We would run through the woods and play and do all kind of stuff. One day, I don't know how the sex started in the household, how the rape started, all that stuff either. And see, one thing I want to address before I say what I'm about to say is, I don't know if I was touched on as a baby because my hormone levels be high. Like, you know, you don't know if you've been touched on between your legs when you was a baby. You don't know if I was touched on as a baby because my hormone levels be high. Like, you know, you don't know if you've been touched on between your legs when you was a baby. You don't know who wiped your butt. You don't know who changed your diaper. You don't know if nobody played in your vagina, your butt, or whatever. You don't know. You're a baby. You just in the world. You don't know. You're not going to remember none of that things. So I've been thinking like, well, damn, when I was a baby, who had me? My grandma? I mean, my auntie or my mom? Who had me the whole time? I'm trying to get answers from them. My aunt was like, well, it was basically me and your grandma that took care of you. I was like, well, I don't know, because I said, as a baby, you don't know. So as time went by, we moved in with my grandma. And my brother and my brother was around 9. My sister was 10. I was about 8. And I'll tell you, I can remember like yesterday. We moved in this big house with my grandma. It was a 5-bedroom, 2-bath. It was down like in the Rimber area in South Carolina. And when we moved in with my grandma, we never thought our life was going to change. We thought our life was going to change for the better, but it changed for the worse. What I'm about to say might be a little distraught. So if you want to get off the live, you can. If you want to stay, you can. Because what I'm about to talk about is going to be a little bit much, but I can't say but so much because it's TikTok and you can't get banned. So what I'm about to say is, if y'all want to hear, type yes. If you don't want to hear, then I can just save it for the podcast, and then y'all can come over there and see the rest. But if you want to hear what I'm about to say, then type yes at the bottom of the screen. If you don't, then I can continue on just going over that part and just talk about something else. But moving in with her, I got a lot of yeses. Okay, I got a lot of yeses. I'm going to wait to see if I get some more yeses. If I get some more yeses, then I'll go into details about what happened behind closed doors that I couldn't talk about as a child. And that's one thing about the world now. You can't. Kids can talk now. They got electronic devices. They can go out and tell somebody. They can go to the school. So with me as a child, I couldn't tell everything. So I got a lot of yeses. Okay, that's enough yeses on the screen. Let's get into it. All right, so I'm very hurtful inside what I'm about to say next. living in my grandma's house when my brother was about 9, 10 years old. I can put it like that. I can't really remember what age range, but I remember he was a little boy. He was sexual assaulted. He was molested by my uncle. And we being kids will have to walk past our room and see these things are happening. When we used to go to my grandma and tell her about the rape that was going on in the household, she overlooked us and didn't believe us. She didn't want to believe us. So it was constantly happening every day because all my uncles and my aunties was living in the house with us at the time that the rape was going on. And me and my sister would constantly stand there in the doorway and watch my uncle having sex with my brother. And it's clothes off, not clothes on. And it was just distraught on us being young girls seeing this happening to my brother at the time. I had to swallow my spit on that because it was just horrific. So it started happening. It was happening multiple times. Like it would happen like 2 or 3 times a day. Now, I don't know. I can't really remember if my grandma was home some of the times it did happen, but most of the time it did happen. We would run around the living room and say, "Grandma, it's happening again." "What you mean what's happening?" "He's doing it again." That's all we would say. And she would never get off the chair and go see what was going on. So my brother was being raped at an early age in the household. And as time went by, we started to overlook it as kids. We never tell nobody, or we never open up about it. We just didn't pay it no attention until he got up older in age. And my uncle, this is what I'm about to say. My uncle was doing so much stuff to my grandma. He would pick up chairs, he would throw chairs at her, he would try to fight her, he would try to hit on her. One day, I guess after my brother got raped, that night my brother got raped, my grandma had confronted him about what was going on in the household and that he needed to stop. So he got mad with her and wanted to fight her. Let me tell you what happened next. It was Easter Sunday. My grandma just went to Rose's to buy me a dress. That's why I go in Rose's a lot, because there's memories there. She went in Maxwell. That's what the name of it was at the time. It was Maxwell when I was a kid. We went in Maxwell and she bought me a dress for Easter. And the beautiful dress. Like, I loved it, the dress and the shoes. My grandma used to have me with her all the time. And when she bought me the dress and the shoes, we was in the store. She said, "Mika, it's Easter Sunday and we going to church. And, I know the devil's still, the devil's staying alive and he's trying to come into our life or whatever. I'm not going to let him take over." And me being I got you, Dami, you right. Me being a little girl, not understanding what's going on around me. My mind is confused. I'm lost in a world of pain and the R word and, everything that's going on in my head. I'm literally taking a diary and writing it down every day. So as me and her driving down the road after we left the Maxway and she was talking or whatever, we went home that night. And she hung up her dress because she washed out her dress. She hung up her dress in the laundry room. And she was like, "Well, we get ready to go to bed, Mika. Let's say our prayers." We get on our knees and we'll say our prayers. Like, my grandma would get on our knees. We'll say our prayers. We'll say our prayer, whatever. My uncle went back home because my grandma had it set up to where she had a house and she had my uncle's trailers outside the property of her house. My grandma had a big property and she had 3 trailers on it. My mama was staying in one. My uncle was staying in one. And then she had another one. She used to keep all her stuff in it. Now, let me say this before I say what I'm about to say. The house that my grandma had was where all the family would stay there. The trailer that she had was where my mom would raise us in it, outside of my grandma's house. When I was a little girl, I guess that's why I feel like fire is burning me, or I feel like I'm hot. When I was a little girl, my grandma told me the story that my mom took my sisters and brothers out of the house and left me in there and said she didn't want me and set the house on fire. She said she was in the house and she smelled smoke and my aunt just came over there and told her the trailer was in flames. That she don't know if I was in there or what, because my mama didn't say anything. My mama just walked away and left me in there. My grandma said when she went outside, she seen a brick, but she said she didn't have time to get the brick because the trailer was going up in flames fast. And the only thing she said she seen was me in the window banging on it, crying, saying, "Help, help, help." And my grandma said all she did was took her fist and bust the glass out, pulled me out before the trailer went up in flames. So I'm like, it's a reason why I'm still here. It's a reason why God still got me placed here on this earth. It's a reason why God gave me 10 beautiful children. It's a reason why everything that's happening in my life is happening for a reason. I was a child that was abandoned. I was a child that almost been burned alive. I was a child that went through abuse, the R word. Like, I've been through everything in my life, and I'm still standing strong to this day, raising 10 beautiful children on my own. And I know what abuse and neglect is. And it hurts me to the core to know that someone will go down there and put false allegations against me and my children. So what I'm about to say is, after my grandma hung up her dress in the house and we talk and we say our prayers or whatever, the next morning we got up like normal people. You never know when your life is going to end. You never know when something's bad going to happen. So what I'm about to say, listen carefully. So we got up that morning, we got up laughing and everything. So my grandma had another mobile home that she purchased that my aunt Linda was staying in from New York City. My aunt from New York, she was staying in that, her daughter. So we went over there that day to go see my sisters and my cousins and stuff. Cause my grandma used to have me with her all the time. Like I've been telling you, my grandma had me under her wings 24/7. So we went to go see my aunt that day, and my sisters and them running around and playing. My grandma said, "All right, Mika, it's time to go." That's why my nickname is Mika, because my grandma gave me that nickname. She said, "Mika, it's time to go." I said, "All right." I told my sisters and brothers and all of them bye. I see them later. They said, "Grandma won't let you stay." I said, "No, Grandma want me to go with her." So as we ride down the road, my grandma stopped by the store and got me a nab. That's what they used to call it, a nab. She got the newspaper. And y'all, while we riding down the road, was a minivan, a brown minivan we used to ride in. As we got to the stop sign at the end of the street, it was smoke in the air. And my grandma was like, "Oh my God, I hope that ain't my house being burned down." And I was like, "Grandma, what are you talking about?" She said, "Don't even worry about it." She said, "Lord, I pray that ain't my house." I see the smoke. The smoke was black. Like I'm a child. I'm looking at all the black smoke in the air while we driving. By the time we hit our house was up in flames. My grandma's bedroom was set on fire by her own son. So when we got there, my grandma jumped out the van. All my family, our family was that close during that time my grandma was living, was in the yard, standing there watching our house in flames. My uncle that raped my brother set my grandma's room on fire because of the argument they had the night before. So he set it on fire, and I'm standing there as a child watching my grandma's room in flames, and the firefighter came stand beside me. He said, "Back up just a little bit." He said, "Everything's going to be okay. We're going to try to get the rescue crew out here to try to get y'all a place to stay." And I was a little girl, and I look at the firefighter. And I look at the room, and I was miserable. I was scared. I was distraught. I was not myself. I was like, "Oh, my dress was in there for Easter, Grandma." She was like, "I don't know what I'm going to do with that boy. That boy done destroyed my life so many years. This is the third house he done burned down." That's what she told me. She said, "This is the third house he done burned down." So this ain't the first time he burned a house down when they was growing up. This is third time burning the house down, because when it was kids growing up, she said he burned the house down twice. This is the third time he burned the house down. So we had to relocate somewhere else. We had to go stay in the trailer that my grandma had that my aunt was staying in from New York. So at that time, my life started to change because we had to go to a new school. We had to go and do everything a little bit different. You never know what a person is going through until you actually know a person or get to know a person or a person tell you their story or their testimony. Because me personally, honest, I was distraught since I was a child. And that does not mentally, physically, emotionally cause harm to my children in any way. Because the love that I give my children, the love that I have for my children is because the love I didn't receive when I was a child. And that's the reason why I go so hard for my children, because the things I didn't receive, I wanted them to receive. I wanted them to have. So my life goes on and on and on. That's why I wrote a book. And I would write every day in my diary. My grandma would say to me every day, "I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you." I wrote that in my diary every day because mentally the mind is a terrible thing to waste. My grandma used to say every day, "I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you." That goes through your mind as a kid. And mentally, physical, and emotional, a lot of kids out here today cannot talk about their situation because they are too afraid to open up to the world. Me personally, I'm grown now. My grandma is dead. I knew one day I will open up to the world, let them know my story. Because of the fact that they go, I'm holding all this stuff deep down inside. Nobody knows anything about Shanika Grant's life unless I tell y'all about my life. And to have our house burned down and not having no place to go but staying in the trailer and We had to, the people had to give us clothes because we didn't have clothes. Everything burned up. My flute, they used to give us a flute for school, burned up. Once we went back to the fire to go pick out what we needed out the house that was good, it smelled like smoke, so we couldn't really use it anyway. It was always a situation in my life to where I could never focus on school. I could never focus on myself. I could never focus on the things that were important to me, which was myself, because I didn't have kids at the time. And I felt like if I had a free way to run, I would run away. I wanted to die many times as a child because of the fact that they know the things I was going through behind closed doors. My uncle never got in trouble about the situation. My grandma never, let me put it like this. My grandma had him in a mental evaluation clinic in the area. She would take him to the mental evaluation clinic where he would go for treatment because they said he had a mental problem. That's what they said. But he never got charged for the R. He never got charged for abuse because he used to fight my sister. He tried to put a hickey on my sister. He tried to do something with me one time, but my grandma knocked him out of the way. My grandma always protected me, do everything, so I never got touched on by him. But my uncle never got charged, and he got sick. One day he got sick in the house, at the other trailer that we moved in, the mobile home that we moved in. He got sick, and my grandma moved him in. What was the greatest fear? That my brother was going to kill him this night. Listen to this, and I'm going to end it because I think y'all don't want to hear no more. My grandma, my uncle got sick. My grandma moved him into the mobile home that we're staying in now, that we were staying in. And she had him in my brother's room, sleeping in my brother's bed. My brother used to sleep in the living room on the floor. My uncle called my brother in that room that day. And he said, Mika, I'm going to kill him if he touch me. I said, no, don't do that because grandma going to go crazy. He said, if he touch me, I'm going to kill him. I said, all right, because we was older then. We was about 15 or 16 years old at the time. No, we was about 14 or 13 at the time, because that was 98 when he died, and I was about 12, 13. So I was about 12, 13 at the time. He said, if he touch me, I'm going to kill him. I said, all right, just go see what he want then. He was like, my brother. He said, T, come here. So my brother went round because my grandma was in the room. And he was laying on his bed. He said, get me a cup of water. And he hold his hand out. Like he wanted my brother to give him something because he was sick. He was on his dying bed. He said, give me a cup of water. So my brother went to the kitchen, got a cup of water. He said, stand right there and don't move. So he's standing there and watch my brother. I'm standing there in the doorway watching everything. He's standing there in the doorway like shaking his head and just drinking his water. And he looking crazy. Like my uncle was crazy. He looking crazy. So my brother walked out the room. He was like, Mika, if he had to touch me, I was going to kill him. I said, man, I'm glad he ain't touch you or nothing because grandma she wouldn't have done nothing. So after my uncle, he had got well. After a few weeks, he had got well. When he got well, he wound up moving back out into his mobile home, which he got his boyfriend. He had a boyfriend at the time. He had a boyfriend. I guess that was his boyfriend. And my aunt told me that they did whatever happened to him. He called my grandma and told my grandma that his boyfriend, whatever him, or whatever. So my grandma called the police and whatever, and he lied about somebody breaking in his house and stealing his radio and all kind of crap. So my grandma called the police. So the alibi was he was trying to tell my grandma something was going on in his house, that somebody tried to rob him so he could go back to her house and stay in the house with us. So my grandma fought for it and he moved back in, and when he moved back in, he started acting crazy again. But the R wasn't still going with my brother at the time. My brother turned to drinking. My brother would go out and somebody would buy him beers. No, that's wrong. My auntie and my uncles will give my brother beer. They were like, oh, come on, drink a sip of this beer right here. Did his boyfriend know he did that to your brother? Yes. Because it was in his diary. He wrote it in his diary. When he died, we found the diary. But my uncle and my auntie used to sneak us beer. They were like, oh, taste this beer. I don't know if the aunties and uncles do that now because, CPS always involved in people's life now. So I don't think they do that now. But back in those days, my aunt and uncles used to be like, okay, y'all come sip a little bit of this beer. And my brother got a little taste to it. When he got a little taste to it the first time, he wanted it the second time. They started giving him more beer. So my brother got addicted to beer, drinking beer. So my brother would go and my uncle then would buy him beer. He would sneak the beer and drink the beer in the room and throw the cans under the bed. And my grandma caught the cans. She said, that boy drinking? At this age, I guess because, he was, going through what he was going through. He couldn't find no other way to release his pain. So he was drinking while going to school. It was amazing to see how many beer cans was under his bed anyway. But my brother turned to drinking. And in 98, let me tell y'all this story, and I'm gonna get off the lives. I know a lot of y'all probably don't want to hear what I gotta say. In 98, my uncle started to get sick. He came to the house with his boyfriend or whatever. He was not hit. In 98, my uncle started to get sick. He came to the house with his boyfriend or whatever. He was not himself. He was shaking and rattling. She was like, well, I'll take you to the hospital in the morning when the kids get on the bus to go to school. If you don't feel better by then, you know, call your friend or call me, and I'll take you to the doctor. So we went to school that day, and we got off the school bus, and my grandma was like, I had to rush y'all uncle to the hospital. And I was like, so? In my head, I was like, so? I wasn't like that out loud. So when she took him to the hospital, they put him in the room, and they say they run some tests and everything on him. My grandma used to go down there back and forth and leave us at the house with my other uncle, or sometimes she would leave us there by herself and dare us to open the door up. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where it was back in those days. If they leave you at home, they double dare you to open them doors. My grandma would shriek. So my grandma would leave us home most of the time by ourselves in the house, dare us to open the door or answer the phone unless it's her calling. And we would be there by ourselves waiting for her to get back, because she would spend hours at the hospital with her son. One day, we went to school and got home. I had a dream. I don't know if God put this on me to feel that way, or I have a spiritual life that I'm living, that I can feel certain things are going to happen, and it happens. So one day I got home from school, and I was tired, y'all. I was drained. I wanted to take a nap. I went to sleep, and I was like, damn, I wonder how I feel to be dead. Like, I was like, dang, somebody done died. You know, that's the dream that I had. So I tried to go, when I woke up, I tried to go to my grandma and say, Grandma, how I feel to be dead. But the phone rang. So when the phone rang, she said, Mika, go answer the phone. So I went to go answer the phone. And then the person was like, this is such and such, a hospital. And they hung up. Then I said, Grandma, the hospital just called. I said, they're not saying anything. You know how we are kids, grandmas are strict. So my uncle ran to the phone this time, my other crazy uncle. He ran to the phone. He picked it up. The lady was like, is your mother around? He was like, yeah, hold on. So my grandma went to the phone. She was like, I don't want to discuss over the phone what is what, but we need you to come down to the hospital. So my grandma was sitting there crying and pouting. And me, in my head, I was like, I just had a dream about death. My uncle must be dead. That's what I said out loud. She said, don't say that. And I was like, he must be dead. And I kept saying that because I had the dream. So she went to go call my Uncle Johnny. He came and picked her up, or William or somebody. I forgot who the man was. I can't really remember who it was driving us to the hospital. When we got to the hospital, my sister was staying with her boyfriend at the time because all the rape and stuff that was going on in the household and the abuse, because she was getting abused too as well. All the stuff that was going on in the household, she was staying with her boyfriend at the time. She was only 16. So they wound up coming to the hospital too as well, but they had to go pick up my other uncle or whatnot. So me and my uncle and my grandma made it to the hospital. And my grandma and my uncle went back in the back, and my sister and her boyfriend came in the lobby area. And it was like, what's going on, Mika? I said, I don't know, shoot. I said, Grandma in the back with Uncle Dury and Uncle Kevin in the back. I said, I don't know. They just called my grandma and told her to come down to the hospital. So we sat in the waiting area, and Kevin came out there flying, his brother. Oh my God, he's dead. Out loud. I'm like, huh? You know, because I already had the feeling that somebody had died. So I was like, what? I said, my dream was real. And Kiana was like, what you mean about your dream was real? I said, I had a dream that somebody had died. She's like, Mika, what? I said, I had a dream that somebody had died. She was like, oh my God. So we went to the back. What I'm about to say is, I'm going to cut it off after this. I don't think y'all want to hear no more. What I'm about to say is, I'm going to cut it off after this. I don't think y'all want to hear no more. What I'm about to say is, we went to the back. First time ever seeing a dead body. So when we went to the back, they had him on the fourth floor or something like that. And his body was laying on the bed. The sheet wasn't covering him yet. So by the time we walked in, his eyes was blue and his head, his eyes was up like this. And my brother walked in. What I'm about to say is crazy. My brother walked in the room. I'm gonna look in the camera when I say this, because this is not a lie. My brother walked in the room. He grabs my uncle's hand. He says to him, while he's dead on the bed, you didn't do anything wrong. I looked at my brother like, what? Like, I was loud with it. My grandma was standing there too. Like, he picked up my uncle's hand. He said, You didn't do anything wrong. And he hold my uncle's hand for almost a good 20 minutes before I walked out the room. 20 seconds before I walked out the room because I was mad. I ain't sharing no tears. I didn't cry or anything because I was like, wow, all our pain is over now. You know, we would never forget. But my pain is over. You know, I'm tired of seeing everything that was going on anyway. So when I went back to the lobby, I asked my brother, because he came down. I said, what do you mean he ain't did nothing wrong? I don't want to talk about it. He ain't did nothing wrong. Whoa, what? I'm like, okay, you know what? Whatever. So, make a long story short, I just felt like my brother just felt like he was comfortable with the situation because he felt like it was right. I think he felt like it was right, but actually it was wrong. And I feel like, you know, when I went off to school, Sissonville, Kentucky, we had a long conversation. I was pregnant with Naya at the time. I was in the gymnasium, and I called him on the phone. I was like, how's everything going, bro? He was like, everything going good. You know, I'm still going through my, you know, my drinking stuff, you know. I said, so why did you, because he tattooed my uncle's name on his arm, a big tattoo that says Dury on my brother's arm. I think it's on his left arm, if I can remember. I said, why did you tattoo Uncle Dury's name on your arm if he did the thing to you or whatever? He said he didn't do nothing wrong, and I feel like, you know, I can't even say what he said. I'm not going to even put that out there like that. I ain't going to say it. But anyways, make a long story short, he just felt like everything was all over, but it still caused a lot of problems in his life to him turn into an alcoholic and not seeking help or seeking counseling for his situation, because as he got older, drinking caused him to act crazy, steal from family, and not, you know, have any kids. And he just beat up women. My brother beat up women. My sister, if she was alive and if she was here, I know she would have got on camera with me right now to let y'all know that my brother did beat up this woman. He beat her badly till she turned purple and blue. So when my sister told me what happened, my sister said she had to leave and go get a motel room because he beat the woman bloody. I said it's because all the things that he's going through inside has built up inside of him, and he cannot go out and open up to the world and let the world know what's going on because he feel like somebody might judge him because what is going on. And he does need a healing, Black, you're right. And he does need to talk to someone. So that's the reason why when I came onto the app called TikTok and I showed my life, and one video went viral on TikTok when Leah dropped the baby, and everybody started putting it across the internet because nobody never know who I was. And people started to come over to actually see who I was. That's when I really started opening up to the world about my life. I say it's an opportunity right now to get my story heard, to get my life heard, to get the opportunity to let the world know who I really am and what I'm really about. It's not about me trying to get the fame life. It's about me going out there, letting my story being heard, and letting the world know as a child, I've been neglected. I've been abused, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And I know it's a difference between being abused and not being abused. And I'm going to stand up for my rights for my children because of the fact that they ain't going. My children didn't ask to be in this situation because of me going live and showing the real life of being a mother. And my brother, he was scarred by the things he was going through and didn't open up to the world and let the world know what he was going through because of the fact that he knew people was going to judge him like the way people are judging me. You know, he talked to me about it all the time. He said, Mika, you always on the internet. You always out there talking and doing things and making YouTube videos. He said, you got all them damn kids too. And, you know, God going to bless you even more, but you need to try to let go of the internet. I said the internet is a resource to get into where you need to be at. I said because you probably need a healing. You probably need to get out there and tell your story, and maybe you might go viral because somebody else going through the same thing that you're going through right now. These scars is the dents in my forehead. Anytime you see me frowning, it's something that I'm thinking about or something that I'm going through. That's the reason why I got the dents in my forehead, because that's all I used to do is stress and worry myself as a child to an adult stage of life. And this is my destiny. My destiny is getting out here, opening up to the world, letting the world know my story, letting the world know my life, letting the world know that I was a child that was abused. I was a child that was R-word. I was a child that was neglected. I was a child that was left home alone, burned up in a fire almost. I was a child that was treated like nobody. I was treated like an outcast. I was a child that was judged by the color of my skin. I was a child. Now, who is that right there? I was a child that never had a mother or a father in my life. I had a grandmother. And it's just the point of being who you are, showing who you are, not being what people want you to be. Be yourself. Be strong. Don't never be afraid to tell your story or your testimony. Because guess what? God knows your heart. He created you. He created everybody different. He knows your inside and your outs, your ups and your downs, your trials and your tribulations. And that's the reason why I got onto this TikTok app. Is to share my life and my story with the world, with my beautiful children. But I see that my children were a target throughout this situation of my life, of getting my children taken away from me because of false allegations. But I still stand tall to this day of getting my children taken away from me because of false allegations. But I still stand tall to this day to be the strongest woman I can ever be in this world, to do whatever I can do to make it to the top. And what I mean by the top is getting that book out there, getting my story heard, keep on posting these videos, keep on going out here making my YouTube channel, enjoying life. Because you know what? You only got one life. And that life ain't promised a day or tomorrow. And you know what? This is what gave me closure when my grandma died. I had to tattoo her name on my arm. And my mom said to me about this tattoo right here, she know I ain't lying. She said, why would you tattoo her on your arm? She gonna haunt you. What? Haunt me? I've been around this. I slept in the bed with this lady for years. This lady changed my diaper. This lady been there for me for years. What? This is the soul right here. My grandma. Rest in peace. Damn her. You know what I'm saying? So everything I do is not doing it for the fame life. Everything I do is because I want to do it and I choose to put myself out there. I'm not going to give y'all the whole book description or whatever. I gave y'all some right now on my live. I know y'all probably want me to go on and on and on and finish talking about the situation with my uncle and stuff because there's more to the story, but I only gave y'all a certain portion of my book because life never felt so real. That's the name of my book. Life never felt so real, y'all. It feels so real. It doesn't feel real, but it does feel real because the things that I was going through, I never thought there was an escape to it. I never thought there was going to ever be life to where I can see it clear. You know what I'm saying? So now that I actually in life and I see it, I enjoy life with my children. Like, that's all I have is them. I'm running, playing hide, go see with night like I'm fool outside. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I miss my children. That is the joy of life. When God gives you the opportunity to carry a child in your womb, for you to grow with, to love, to hold, to protect, to death do y'all part, that's the most beautiful gift in the world, to be a mother. And one thing I did learn is how to grow with each and every one of my children because everybody's personality are different. There's no harm going on in my household with my children. There's nothing going on that they are uncomfortable of coming back home. They are ready to come back home. I'm not just doing this for views and likes. I'm doing this because it's giving me the healing that I need. It's giving me the support that I need. It's giving me the strength that I need to carry on every day. Because these scars that I have behind the walls of my body is finally opening up to say, okay, you know, I'm finally free from everything that I was going through as a child until my adult stage, until now being the person that I am today, to let the world see who I really am. So I'm not gonna hold y'all up on this live. It's a lot of people that feel like they closer to me, like they love me, like I love Nika, like I'm close to Nika. Nika is the person that's pure-hearted. She's loved. She's the person that you would want to be around. Like, people love me, and I get that all the time. Like, people like me, Nika, I love you so much, girl. Like, you don't understand. It could be fake love, it could be real love, but real love is real love. And real love comes from only the true supporters that support me truly. People love me, and I understand that. You know what I'm saying? I love a lot of people too as well. But by that note, y'all, I'm not going to hold y'all up because I got to go do my podcasting on my YouTube to finish doing my books. I'm doing part 2. I'm about to head over there now. And a lot of you guys, I love y'all too as well, especially Requisia, Diamond, Kiera, Red, Pooh Bear. I love her kids. I love her baby. She just gave birth. T. Who else I be up here talking to a lot? What's his name? It's a lot of people that I talk to that I really love and care about, and you know, I like spending time with them and, you know, talking to them, interacting with them off camera. So it's a lot. Traps, he's a humble man. He's not a man that's out to get me or talk shit about me. So Trap, he's another one that I respect truly. Black, I respect, because Black gets on, and he respects my live too as well. And I got a lot of y'all that I might not call your names. Diamond, Sally, Requisia, Diamond, my other Diamond. I got like 2 or 3 Diamonds. Requisia, I got a lot of people. Like, I can't really get everybody's name out. You know what I'm saying? Chocolate and a lot of y'all. Okay, so I'm about to head over to the YouTube. Thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all enjoy it, and I'll see you guys over to my YouTube. I'm about to head over there now, so I got to change my shirt and stuff like that, and go ahead and do my podcasting. It's Queen Nika inside Asia. So head over there and subscribe. Click that button. Subscribe. Show some support. The more support, the more views, the more likes, the more the money. So y'all come over there. It's 432 subscribers on there. I need y'all to go click, 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 click. Let's go. I'm headed over there now. To the ones who respect me and mine, truly see you guys later. And Keisha, I can't leave you out, Buki. We had a good time at bingo. I love you, girl, always, truly. Peace. Bye, Rudy.